Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Haisam Javed with yet another very interesting lecture of O-levels and IGCSE Pakistan studies. In today's lecture, we will learn about the reasons behind the decline of the Mughal Empire. So this is the map of 1707 here, which shows the extent of the Mughal Empire by the end of Aurangzeb's reign. You can see the entire green shaded region here, which encompasses areas of today's Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh. This Mughal Empire that you can see is stretched from Ghazni in the west to Chittagong in the east, and from Kashmir in the north to Karnataka in the south. However, soon after the death of Aurangzeb, the empire started to collapse, and within 150 years of his death, it ended forever. This brings us to the topic reasons behind the decline of the Mughal Empire. We can broadly classify the reasons into two: the internal Indian reasons and the external reasons behind the decline of the Mughal Empire. In this lecture, we will begin with the internal reasons, such that how the impact of Aurangzeb's policies, ineffectiveness of his successors, and the rise of Marathas and Sikhs led to the decline of the Mughal Empire. Aurangzeb was a very powerful ruler, and he had ruled the empire for about 50 years. But during his reign, he made some controversial policies which sowed the seeds of the decline, such as religious policies, socioeconomic, and political policies. Starting with his religious policies. Aurangzeb was a staunch Muslim, a practicing Muslim, and wanted to live his life according to the principles of Islam. This is reflected through his policies, especially due to the compilation of a book, Fatwa-e-Alamgiri, or also known as Fatwa al-Alamgiriya. In this book, he had compiled the Sharia law with the help of notable Islamic scholars of the time. This shows Aurangzeb's intentions to govern the empire according to the principles of Islam. And being Muslims, we would honestly appreciate that, but try to keep in mind the context and demographics of that time as well. During that time, the majority of the population was of non Muslims, especially the Hindus. Why do you think the non Muslims population would ever accept such a law? Moreover, Aurangzeb also reimposed the hated jizya tax. According to the principles of Islam, jizya tax is imposed on the non-Muslims living in Muslim territories for the security of their lives and properties. The tolerant rulers like Akbar and Shah Jahan had previously removed this tax, and that's why they were popular among the non-Muslim subjects as well. But its reimposition by Aurangzeb meant that he would lose popularity among the majority of the population, and loss of popularity is never a good thing for any government. The hatred for Aurangzeb further increased when Aurangzeb banned drinking, gambling, singing, and dancing for everyone. From the Muslims' point of view, this can be considered as a good policy, but the non Muslims disliked such strictness. Apart from the strictness, the non Muslims also resented the intervention in their religion. For example, Aurangzeb had banned sati. Sati was an old Hindu religious ritual in which the widow had to be burnt alive with the dead body of her husband. This was done because in Hinduism, the widows are not allowed to remarry. Even if it sounds inhuman, it was a religious obligation for the Hindus, and no matter what, followers of every religion give the same importance to their religious teachings. So, when Aurangzeb banned sati, it added to the grievances of the Hindus, and many reports also suggest that he had even destroyed the temples of Hindus as well. Not only the Hindus, but also the Sikhs resented the intervention in their religion. For example, Aurangzeb had fixed the length of the beard according to the principles of Islam, while such limits are not found in Sikhism. Let's see the second policy now, that is the socio-economic policies of Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb had a discriminatory policy towards the non-Muslims. By this I mean Aurangzeb used to dismiss the non-Muslims from the administrative services even if they were capable. This is how he deprived himself of the services of many loyal and capable non-Muslims, resulting in poor administration. Moreover, under Aurangzeb, the royal treasury became more depleted. His long campaign in Deccan ruined the economy of the country. To bear the expenses of war, high taxes were imposed. Moreover, during his time, huge sums were spent on building palaces. Because of his extravagance, taxation became high and he became very unpopular ruler by his death. Now let's talk about Aurangzeb's political policies. Aurangzeb was ambitious to expand his empire. So he fought many battles against the Sikhs, Satnamis, Jats, and Rajputs. He also waged a long war against the Marathas. This long campaign against the Marathas lasted for 25 years and obviously undermined the prestige and power of the Mughals. Logically speaking, this was not the best policy because, as discussed earlier, it also led to the depletion of royal treasury. Moreover, his prolonged absence from the capital weakened the administration of his government. So this is how Aurangzeb's policies contributed in the decline of the Mughal Empire. Next up, we'll discuss the ineffectiveness of the successors of Aurangzeb. Thanks for watching. Take care. Allah Hafiz.